I know this is grossly overdue, and hopefully my voice doesn't get drowned out in the river noise behind me. So, and it's getting a little breezy. We've had a change in weather, so hopefully the audio will be good. But anyways, let's get on with it. There's a lot I want to cover. A lot's been happening with the fishing. Lots been going on. But first, a couple real quick announcements. I was part of a podcast. It's the Wet Fly Swing podcast. I think it's episode 437. I was part of. That was really fun. Thanks, Dave, for inviting me. I really enjoyed that. So there's a podcast out. You can listen to me jabber even more. Plus, I think we got another little Ask Jay thing on the website that Albert's been putting a lot of effort into. Thank you, Albert, on all your help. So that's going on with the new website. And also, if any of you want some last minute, yeah, it is cold. I got my gloves on. We've had temperature change. If you're interested in some last minute steelhead fishing, I still have some dates available for early May, where we do a lot of spey casting, a lot of fishing with sink tips, a lot of swinging flies. We kind of call that swing season. And that looks like it's starting to shape up pretty good. I'll obviously know more this week because conditions can and do change quickly, which brings us into the fishing. Right, obviously right now I'm on the Salmon River. We're still steelhead fishing. It's chilly. Basically in the last 48 hours we went from high 70s, 80 degrees. Today it might make 50. We had some really good thunderstorms come through last night, so the watershed just got 1.25 inches of rain. We got a good shot of water, so hopefully we'll be able to maintain at least the water flow in the Salmon River, which is right now at 500 CFS release. Pineville right now this morning as I'm shooting this is like 7 something, so we got some runoff, which is good. We needed the rain. We need more. We can always use rain when it comes to steelhead fishing and trout fishing. So where we are with the steelhead, well, we're probably 90% done with the spawning activity. In the last 48 hours, the spawning activity, these hens just finished up. The spawn it's petering right out. And we're pretty much going into, at least I will be now, probably going to pretty much drop back fishing, swing fishing. Yes, there's still a bunch of fish up in the upper river that are still hanging out around the gravel. There's a few hens still spraying eggs, which has got all the boys worked up. So that's still going on in the upper river, so there's still a lot of fish in the upper river. Still a good load of fish in the in the hatchery. Still holding a lot of fish. So there's a lot of fish to drop down. We're finding the fish in the pools now. They're getting grabby, and we got fish scattered from one end to the other end of the river all the way down. You're fine. Gentleman walking out of the river. So it's scattered all about, so we're fine. You're gonna find fish literally right down through the DSR. George fished at the DSR just recently, had a very good day. I would say the next 2 weeks is probably going to be some of the best drop back fishing or fishing DSR is going to see until probably coming into this fall. For the Douglas and Salmon Run, yeah, there's fish scattered all the way down through, and they're getting some smallmouth bass. They're showing up. So even the bass fishing is starting to pick up down there. You know, for smallmouths, they're 3 to 5 pounds, and in the Salmon River you can target smallmouth bass on a catch and release basis. All I suggest is stay away from the edges, work the pools, because most of the spawners are going to be the edges, and fast water, if you stay in the main part of the runs, the main part of the pools, most of what you're getting is either pre or post spawn fish. So you're not bothering that spawning activity. Little tip there. And yeah, there's also going to be a lot of steelhead from top to bottom of that. So it's just to cover your game. Put something meaty on. You know, steelhead crack works great right now. Intruder's about yay big, 2.5 inch sink tips. We've been fishing a lot of T11, T8 sink tips, 10-foot tips. That's been working pretty good for us, swinging through all that water. Even in the main part of the river, we've been bouncing between at this 500 flown runoff T11 to T8, depending on the pool. We don't want to be right on the bottom, but we want to be a foot and a half off the bottom. Let that fly be really visible to those fish. If you're really dragging bottom or you're bumping bottom, you're definitely fishing too low. Get that fly up in the water column a little bit. Make it visible. If these fish want them, they're going to go get it. At this point, just a nice slow, keep it visible. Like I said, they're looking for food. They're going to eat it. That's pretty much what we're doing. Covering a lot of water. Like I said earlier, size 4, size 6 woolly buggers, depending on the water, depending on how the pool is. We've been fishing a lot of 4s in this 500 water, size 4 buggers. Fishing a lot of, I call them mini intruders, but they're just 200, 3 inches long. A lot of blacks, purples. Yeah, some pinks have been doing it. Some pinks have been getting some fish with some pink mixed in. It's been working. Some whites been working. Got black flies action. And play around with it. Get the fun stuff. Experiment with the colors. Fish fast to the pool. If you run to the pool, you see fish, signs of life, change up your color, change up your swing a little bit, make another run, see if that makes a difference. And just cover a lot of water. You will find some fish that are wanting to feed and get into them. So it's a coverage game. We're still running the boats. Fishing, we'll get out, sometimes fish and run, sometimes fish in the boats. But we're definitely using the boats right now to cover as much water as possible. And as long as we got good water flows, that's going to work best for us. If you obviously don't have a boat, yeah, just do a milk run. Just pool the pool, and just cover that water efficiently and move on to the next one. That's what we do when the water gets low. So that's pretty much what's going on there. Now, really quick, like the western trips, they're pretty much done now. Some of those little creeks you might find a drop back, steely. However, the place is just full of suckers. So we're pretty much done with the trip fishing in western New York. The trout fishing, yeah, I think some of our local streams close to home, Rochester area, are seeing some Hendricksons, seeing some olives. That hatch will be coming up. Some of the other creeks might be seeing some blue quills. Since we just got a rain, got a bump of water, so it'll probably be just a woolly bugger nip fishing thing. Keep in mind, you might see some bugs coming off, but the fish might not be on the bugs. It has a lot to do with water temperature and how much water's in those creeks. Those fish want to push up to that water column and feed on the surface. But if you don't see any, the heads are not up eating the bugs, go nymph. Go down because they could definitely be feeding on the nymph drift that's happening while the hatch is going on. So just because you don't see the fish on the bugs feeding doesn't mean they ain't feeding on the nymph subsurface. So that's something to keep in mind when you're on the trout streams right now, because it could have a lot to do with water temperature to water volume, why you're not seeing them on the surface, but they could definitely be down there feeding on the nymph drift. The other thing that's going on is probably in the next week or two, we're going to start making a shift a little bit off the drop backs. I know Ricky's going to be hitting the pike water here pretty early. And so the pike fishing is starting up. So that whole pike gig, which we'll be doing May, June, into July, we got a lot of time for that, folks. So if you want to join us with the pike fishing, that's starting up here probably in the next couple of weeks. About mid-May, we're going to be definitely making a shift over to the toothy critters. So if you're interested in the pike fishing, definitely get a hold of us too for that. So the pike bite is starting. In fact, one of the guys got on the water a little bit early this year, looking for some steelhead in one of our other areas, and bumped into a 40-inch pike. So yeah, the toothy critter gig will be starting. I wish I had a photo. I'll put that photo up in this report, but it was an impressive fish. But anyway, so the pike gig is getting going. I'm going to be doing a bunch of trout fishing through May and June, mixed in with the pike fishing. Once again with the trout, we're definitely looking at Hendrickson hatches are starting to come up. Some of the water's already seeing Hendricksons. So that's going on right now. Just be mindful that there'll be some olive mixed in with that too. So that's pretty much what's going on with the fishing. I apologize for being a little bit tardy on that. Yeah, we were busy. We are working on I'm trying to get another fishing video of us steelhead fishing on the swing with so a lot of spey casting, a lot of swing fishing, some cool flies, hopefully some cool fish. So we're working on that video right now. I'm hoping to have that up in the next week or so. So I keep promising videos. We keep trying, but we also, we're also fishing guides. So until then, good seeing everybody that stopped and said hello. See everybody on the water. I hope I made some sense. Check out the podcast. I enjoyed doing that. And until next time, see you, folks. This is Jay at JPEG Guides and Lost River Fishing. We are a year-round fly fishing catch and release guide service. We fish the Lake Ontario tributaries, and then during the spring and the summer we also fish the inland trout streams, classic dry fly fishing. During the heat of the summer we will do the warm water fishing for bass and pike. If you're interested in any of our outings or have any questions, please feel free to email us at fish@lostriversfishing.com. Hope to hear from you, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.